Hello, my IOE family. Happy May. First off, I wanted to give a shout out and a thank you to all of you who have been working really hard on those assignments on Stemscopes and messaging me and messaging Miss Brown and trying to get help if you're confused. Really, really proud of you guys for doing that. For those of you who haven't started yet or had trouble and kind of gave up, I want you to know that I made it so the assignments can be submitted late. But I highly recommend you doing each one as much as you can each week, because if you let them all pile up, you might get overwhelmed by the end there. So try to do them each week. But if you haven't finished the assignments for the week of May 11th, you are free to go on and try your best on those. So I'm going to make a little tutorial video about how to log into Stemscopes and navigate it for those of you who are having trouble. I'm also going to log in as a second grade student, so this will double as a tutorial video for Stemscopes in general, as well as how to do the second grade assignment from the week of May 11th. And then I'm going to upload some separate videos of the different grades level as assignments and kind of walk you through those. I'm not going to do the complete assignment because I still want you to challenge yourself and try your best, but I'm going to kind of walk through how to do each piece, and I will add in some ideas for answers and things like that. So I'm going to just turn the camera down for privacy, and I'm going to log in as a second grade student. But right here is where you would put your student ID, and this is where your password's going to go. And your password's the same password that you use for every app. It's going to be uppercase S, lowercase p, and then your birth date as 2 digits for the day, the month, and the year. So I'm going to log in. Okay, so one little mistake I've noticed people make when they log in is that their uppercase is actually turned on when it shouldn't be and off when it should. So like if you have caps lock on already and you go to do Shift S, you're actually going to reverse the caps lock and you're going to make it a smaller caps. So make sure your caps lock isn't on if you like to do Shift S in order to do your uppercase. If you don't like to do that, just make sure you can see that it is the light next to caps lock is on. Some of the older computers don't have that, so this little light that turns on when you click it isn't on. What I like to do sometimes is I'll just like type up here and see if the letters are uppercase, so I can see that it's off. And if I didn't have that light, all I would have to do is type, and then I'd see that when I type S, it's lowercase. All right, so right here we see the two things that were added for Stemscopes for the second grade, okay? Now this one looks like it might have been added a while ago before our schools were closed, and if I wanted to know that for sure, I would check my class's daily schedule. So the second grade daily schedule for May 11th week will show that this assignment right here is the actual required assignment. So for this one, you would click on it, you'd click there, and here you've got the video that will pop up. Now this video is going to have a lot of information that you're going to need for the assignment, okay? But I'm going to back out of here real quick because I want to show you guys something. Your assignments will usually open up right away, but in case they're not, you can actually put this right here. So you can put assignments and you can click on that and it will go to it. If you are already out of that, you can go here and it will show you if you have any grades so far. Now the biggest thing that's actually really, really useful is the learning resources. Okay, so I don't think this is different. Let's see here. Yeah, so the visual glossary is kind of similar to the resources, but it's going to have a lot of pictures, and we even have a Spanish option, which is awesome. I love that, because now if you're working with somebody and you're getting help with someone who maybe isn't as strong with English, they might have an easier time helping you with your science assignment if they can click on that version, which is really great. So I'm going to switch this back to English because personally my English is stronger than my Spanish. That will just slow me down. So I'm going to click on Learning Resources. Now for this is really great because you've got two things. The picture vocabulary is a really big glossary of pictures that are directly related to all the scopes. But they have all of them. So if you're in second grade, which is this video is going to be mostly centered around, you're not going to want to look at all of these for the assignment that's required. You absolutely can look through all of these for fun and for your own learning, but you're going to want to find the one that relates to whatever assignment that you were assigned. So this one, pictures from changing land, that would probably be one that would be helpful for the assignment for second grade for May 11th. So I'm going to go back out of there. And I'm going to go to the learning resources again. I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to go to Stemscopedia. Now, Stemscopedia is going to be the most helpful thing because this has a lot of background information for each topic. And you can see that the thumbnail is the same because it's the same scopes. They're all the same scopes, and they're either divided into Stemscopedia or they're in the picture vocab. And if I'm not sure what Stemscopedia I should be looking at, I can just go right back to assignments, and I can look here and I can say, okay, so this is from changes to land, slow changes to land. So I have to find that if I want to look more into the background information for this. So I'm going to go back to Stemscopedia, and I'm going to find changes to land. And I can also type it in. That's probably a little easier. I know that it's on one of the first couple of pages, but if we type in changes, type in with one hand here, give me a break here. Let's see, changes to land. There we go. All right. Okay, slow changes to land. So I'm going to go to that. And now this is really great because it has all this information that you can read about. It's got pictures. It's got information on what caused these types of changes. These pictures right here are really great because they're super big, and you can actually click full screen to make them much, much bigger. And I think, yeah, you can zoom in on them, and you might even be able to turn the picture. Yeah, look at that. You can turn this 3D picture like you're out there standing. This picture was probably taken in northern Arizona, where there's a lot of sand arches from wind erosion. So you can feel like you're in Arizona by taking this picture and bringing it up a little bit. So I'm going to back out of this, and I'm going to go to the assignment. Now, for the assignment, once you're done watching the video, okay, the questions or whatever you need to do to actually respond and complete the work is down here. Now, this one can look a little bit tricky at first, okay, especially if you don't have a touch screen. But in order to use this one right here, it says illustrate and explain the following vocabulary words based on the video. So it wants you to draw a picture and explain what weathering, erosion, and deposition is. Now, if you're a student that has an easier time drawing your evidence for science, and I let you do that in class, you can do that. If you feel like you're not really sure about how to write the answers here, you can absolutely draw a picture of what you think weathering, what you think erosion, what you think deposition is. If you can do both, I always prefer that. But I just want you to give your best effort. So don't feel like you failed if you've only been able to draw a picture and you're not really sure how to write it out. So if you want to draw it, one thing that's great is you can change the color of your brush. You can change how fat then wide that brush is. If you want to draw a nice big fat line, you can click 40 and you can draw that big line. I don't want that there though, so I'm going to erase that, and I'm going to be able to take that right out by clicking, if I recall, if you click the undo button, you can also click Control Z and it will get rid of it, which is great. So I'm going to move that back down to a smaller brush size. I'm going to do 5 pixels. Now I want to type something because I have a sentence that I'm really proud of writing and I want to type it out. So I'm going to click the T, and then I'm going to click where I want to type. Now it's going to let me type. So if I want to write what erosion is, or sorry, weathering, I would write weathering is when rocks change. That's not quite the right answer. That's a small part of the right answer. Now, if I don't want it to be big like that, right? I don't want it to be like taking up that much space. I'm going to take this and just move it. See if I can move it. Oh, it's not working for me. Here. What we can do is we'll put the cursor here and we'll press enter. And then we can move that down. Let's see if I can change the font size. Doesn't look like I can do that. Let's see if it'll let me do this. Oh, you know what? This might work. That might work. Let's see. If I can figure out how to change the font size, I will add that in my next video. It actually looks like there isn't an option, which is a little unfortunate because when you type that out, it is going to take up a lot of space. So what I would do if I were you, I would draw your picture below it, okay? Or I would write your simple sentence below it. And you could always put a number next to it, and I'll know that 1, 2, 3. I'll kind of figure that out. When Miss Brown and I go to grade them, we can kind of work with you folks and think about how you've put that in. As long as you're trying your best to put in as much information as you can, that's totally fine. So I'm lucky I have a touchscreen. If you don't have a touchscreen, it's a little difficult to draw with the mouse pad or a mouse, but it is doable. And I'm not grading for how nice your picture looks. I'm grading to see if you've figured out how to do it. So if I wanted to draw an example of weathering, I might draw a rock like this. Let's see here. My screen isn't working. That's okay. I'll use my cursor. So sometimes that happens where things just don't really work out as much as you want with technology. So you kind of just have to go with it. And it's okay. I'm the science teacher and I'm even having a tough time getting all this stuff to work right. It's totally fine if your picture doesn't look nice or you don't really like how it looks or it looks not what you want. It's okay as long as you're trying your best here. So I'm going to draw a little picture and I'm going to change my color here to blue because I'm going to draw some rain coming down on this mountain. Weathering is when something breaks down really slowly over time. So if I draw rain coming down on this mountain and I draw that eventually that side of the mountain, we can see that side of the mountain's kind of broken down a little bit compared to this side. That shows me that water running down this mountain over a long, long period of time is going to break it down, okay? Erosion and deposition are different than weathering, but I'm not going to say yet. I want you to try and watch the video and figure that out. This box is going to be really similar. You just have to give examples of what kind of erosion water can cause, wind, and ice, okay? So that about does it. If you folks need anything at all, you can message me or Miss Brown and ask for help. We would love to help you. Try to get these assignments in as quickly as you can through each week so you're not having to do, 5 or 6 at the very end of the year. Nobody wants to have to do that. I'm a huge procrastinator sometimes, especially when I was younger. So, I know what it's like to wait, and I'm just telling you, you don't want to wait and let work pile up. You want to enjoy your time. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to post more of those videos for the other grade levels soon. If you guys have anything that you need, just let me know. Take care.